Chapter 41, Infernal Difficulty. Show your Abyss title. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Guoguang soon saw Lin Yi's profession, an ordinary mage, just like him, not a rare profession. He immediately admired Lin Yi. He was an ordinary mage, so he naturally knew how much he was at a disadvantage compared to other rare professions. Even rare professions, those professions have their own inherent advantages. Looking at the entire blue star, now those who can become a strong man above the 7th level are basically all rare professions, and there are even legendary professions. Guoguang can achieve what he has today, all thanks to his hard work. Since becoming a professional, he has had adventures, too, but more of it is hard work. In the past 80 years, he has not been working hard to improve himself for a single day. In just 30 days, he can reach level 42. He must have encountered some adventure, right? Someone said. At this time, Guoguang sympathized with Lin Yi. He said, even if there is an adventure, his efforts and diligence cannot be denied. With only an adventure, he will never be able to reach this level. Li Yuanjing also nodded and said, this young man is good. He must have made countless times more efforts than ordinary people. For a time, the senior officials of the Dongjiang Provincial Education Bureau in the entire examination center, and even a small number of senior officials of the Professional Alliance headed by Guoguang, all looked at Lin Yi with admiration. At least they believed that they could not reach this level at Lin Yi's age. He is too hardworking. If Lin Yi knew what these people thought, I wonder what he would think. I don't have it, I am just a lazy dog. Li Yuanjing did not forget that Sun Liang was still waiting for his instructions. How should he deal with Lin Yi's special situation? After a moment of silence, Li Yuanjing said, the last time I met such a powerful candidate was decades ago. Since I met him again today, I will make a special case for him. Reopen the difficulty that once existed. The others were shocked when they heard this. Deputy Director Li, that difficulty has caused too many accidents. It's too difficult for these candidates, and it's not conducive to their physical and mental growth. Didn't you say that yourself? Li Yuanjing shook his head. Times have changed. For him, nightmare difficulty is a joke, it's too easy. The difficulty we said is based on the situation of the first turn. Now there is a second turn, and those tests are not very meaningful. Of course, in order to be fair, notify the 22 examination halls in Tianhai to open the purgatory difficulty at the same time. The people under Li Yuanjing heard this, and their scalps tingled. Of course, they knew what the so-called purgatory difficulty was. In short, the actual combat of the last level of the dungeon changed from an ordinary dungeon to a special dungeon contaminated by the breath of the abyss, just like the special trials of each profession. While the difficulty soars, it will also allow these fledgling newcomers to come into contact with the vicious abyss monsters. Deputy Director, if the abyss difficulty is turned on, people without special abyss titles cannot choose it. Li Yuanjing waved his hand, then let them hang up their abyss titles. People without abyss titles cannot choose purgatory difficulty. By the way, add one more restriction. You must be at least gold standard to choose purgatory difficulty. If this level 42 kid has never passed the special trial before and has no title, then let him choose nightmare difficulty. There is nothing we can do about it. Li Yuanjing has made up his mind. Everyone can only do as he is told. Sun Liang immediately took the order and left. He ran all the way again, back to exit 1. Sun Liang told everyone about the newly added purgatory difficulty and selection rules. Everyone, because the purgatory difficulty has been added, candidates who have registered and selected the difficulty before have a chance to reselect the difficulty. But I must remind you that the purgatory difficulty is very dangerous and may even result in casualties. If you choose this difficulty, you need to sign a life and death agreement, and your life and death are at your own risk. In addition, the last level of this difficulty requires entering a special copy contaminated by the breath of the abyss. You need to hold the abyss title to enter. Candidates without the title cannot register. Candidates who want to change their difficulty now, please raise your hands. There are only more than 20 candidates at entrance number 1, the operation of changing the difficulty is not cumbersome and there is enough time, so Sun Liang followed the first come first served rule and let the candidates who had registered before reselect the difficulty. The next moment, Sun Liang saw 3 hands raised. The girl Lan Rui raised her right hand with a calm expression. At the same time, Zhao Kai and a younger brother beside him who had also reached level 29 also raised their right hands. Sun Liang was not too surprised. These 3 people were the 3 candidates with the highest level before, and Zhao Kai and the other boy are both rare professions. Lan Rui is an even rarer profession. They do have the confidence to challenge the difficulty of purgatory. 3 candidates, please wear your abyss titles. After confirming that they are correct, I will adjust the difficulty you choose to purgatory level. That the next moment, Lin Yi saw 5 big black characters appear above the heads of the 3 people, including Lan Rui. Abyss Challenger. Most titles are obtained by completing special achievements or special copies. Usually it is hidden. It will only be revealed when the professional chooses to wear it. Obviously, the title of Abyss Challenger is not beautiful, so no one is willing to wear it unless necessary, but at this time, having this title is a very prestigious thing. This means that they have passed the special professional trial and have come into contact with the Abyss monsters. Compared with other peers, the starting line is different. Zhao Kai has always been a little bit upset with Lin Yi, although there is not much hatred, but his previous words and Lin Yi's level of 42 still made him feel like a clown. Especially embarrassing himself in front of the goddess he wanted to pursue, which made him even more annoyed. At this moment, he looked at Lin Yi. Malicious smile hung on the corner of his mouth. So what if you have a high level? If you don't pass the professional trial, you still can't choose the difficulty of purgatory. The difficulty is directly linked to the score that can be obtained. Even if you get full marks in the nightmare difficulty, it may not be as high as the score in the purgatory difficulty. Everyone turned their eyes to Lin Yi, including Sun Liang. In fact, when Sun Liang said that he wanted to wear a title, Lin Yi was already confused. Damn, so embarrassing. Where do you wear a title? He has never worn a title before. Ahem, teacher, I would like to ask, how do you wear this title? Lin Yi could only bite the bullet and ask. Zhao Kai on the side was even more ecstatic. Pretend. Keep pretending. You obviously don't have it, you don't know how to wear it. Chapter 42 Blinding. Conqueror of the Abyss Hall of Fame. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 42 Blinding. Conqueror of the Abyss plus Hall of Fame player. Sun Liang didn't have as many inner thoughts as Zhao Kai. He just thought that Lin Yi might have never used the title system before, and quickly replied, open your personal panel, then long press on your own name column, and the title list will pop up. Click on the corresponding title and choose to wear it. Lin Yi suddenly realized, oh, okay, that he still remembered that when he cleared the City of Dead Light, Fei Lai Kane, the system notification reminded him that his title had been upgraded, but later, Lin Yi couldn't find a way to open the title column. Gradually, he forgot about it. Now reminded by Sun Liang, he did as he was told. He quickly opened his title column. Maybe it was the first time to open the title column. Lin Yi was not very skilled in operation, or maybe his hand really slipped. The moment the title column opened, Lin Yi's finger touched the first title. The next moment, everyone felt a flash in front of their eyes, then a golden light appeared. A string of words suddenly appeared above Lin Yi's head. Global Dungeon Clearance Record Hall of Fame. Sun Liang. Lan Rui. Zhao Kai. Damn, my 24K titanium alloy dog eyes. What the hell is this title? It's too fucking cool. This is everyone's first reaction when they saw the title above Lin Yi's head. Lin Yi was stunned. Huh? Why do you all have such expressions? Did I put the wrong title? He obviously noticed the golden light on his head. He looked up. He also saw the string of titles. Good guy, it's like wearing a super bright gold LED headlight. It's too conspicuous. This doesn't match his low-key personality. Hurry up and change it. Lin Yi smiled awkwardly. Sorry, I'm not very skilled yet. I put the wrong title. Lin Yi quickly opened his title column again. Soon he saw that there were 3 titles in the title column. The first one was the one he showed by slipping his hand, the title of the Global Dungeon Hall of Fame. This title was automatically issued the moment Lin Yi got the place in the Hall of Fame. There might be a system prompt, but Lin Yi didn't seem to hear it. The second title is, Reaching the Pinnacle. This title was issued by the system when Lin Yi added points to the universal skill of appraisal to the pinnacle level. The last title is the Abyss Conqueror that Lin Yi is going to wear. At this time, Lin Yi discovered that his 3 titles actually have attributes. Global Dungeon Clearance Record Hall of Fame. When worn, your attribute values in all dungeon secret realms are increased by 3%, reaching the pinnacle. When worn, all the skill points you obtain are increased by 3%. Abyss Conqueror. When worn, you have the right to enter the Abyss Dungeon, and the difficulty of the dungeon is increased by 1 level, and the corresponding rewards are also more generous. Wow! The title of reaching the pinnacle also gives extra skill points. Although 3% of the skill points are not much, but a little adds up to a lot. I lost a month's worth of 3% skill point idle bonus. Damn! But Lin Yi didn't have time to think so much. His finger slid to the title of Abyss Conqueror, and then clicked to wear it. In Lin Yi's opinion, only one title should be worn. He chose Abyss Conqueror, so the previous Hall of Fame title would definitely be removed, but he was still too young. The next moment after Lin Yi chose to wear the title of Abyss Conqueror, above the Hall of Fame title above his head, a line of words appeared again. Abyss Conqueror. And the special effects of this title are not inferior to the gold color of the Hall of Fame. The title flashed with a dazzling scarlet light, and there was a dark air of the abyss around it. That's really cool. Sun Liang. Lan Rui. Zhao Kai. You did it on purpose, right? You must have done it on purpose, right? Why does this guy have so many super rare titles? Although no one present has seen the Hall of Fame title, but I have heard of it. That is the honor that all professionals in the entire Blue Star dream of. But what is the matter with this Conqueror title with a full gloomy atmosphere and abyss oppression? Shouldn't it be the Abyss Challenger? Why are we challengers, and you are already a conqueror? Lin Yi. He saw the reactions of these people again. Lin Yi was also a little speechless. He really wanted to be low-key. It was not his wish to turn on the special effects on his head and become the most handsome guy in the entire examination room. Sun Liang was sweating profusely. As an examiner, he felt that he had no dignity in front of this 18-year-old monster in front of him. This examinee, does this title on your head qualify you to enter the Abyss Dungeon? Because I haven't seen this title yet. Speaking of the latter, Sun Liang was a little inferior. Damn. He has reached the 4th level. He has reached the 4th level. And he also has the title of Abyss Challenger, but he really didn't know how to obtain the title of Abyss Conqueror. I really want to ask how he got this title. It's really cool. Lin Yi silently clicked to remove his 24K Gold Hall of Fame title again, and then replied, yes. Sun Liang took another deep look at the Abyss Conqueror title on Lin Yi's head. Without the influence of gold, the oppressive feeling and special effects of this title are more real. Glancing at the heads of the other people, they were originally full of challenger titles, instantly felt what special effects crushing is. My special effects are better than yours. Zhao Kai closed himself. He didn't know how Lin Yi did it, he only knew that the person in front of him might be an abyss monster in human skin. Lan Rui couldn't take her eyes off Lin Yi. Handsome, powerful, mysterious, these characteristics that are most attractive to girls are perfectly reflected in one person. Even Lan Rui, a proud girl who is one of the best in the whole Dongjiang, couldn't help but admire and respect him. He must be very hardworking and diligent. Otherwise, how could he have such a great achievement? On the huge spiritual crystal display screen of the examination center, the surveillance camera at entrance number 1 was placed in the middle and pulled to the maximum. The shock that Lin Yi just gave to Sun Liang, Lan Rui, and others, it was also transmitted to this invigilation room. Countless senior officials of the Dongjiang Provincial Education Bureau and the Professional Alliance Guild were stunned, staring at the 2 special titles hanging above Lin Yi's head. Damn. Global Dungeon Hall of Fame. Damn. Abyss Conqueror. Who is this kid? A few of them also have the former title, but it is limited to a few people. They know the value of the latter title. To get the title of Abyss Conqueror, you must complete a special hidden task in the Abyss-related dungeon. This is an opportunity that can only be encountered but not sought after. They only know how to obtain it, but they don't know the specific effect of this title. When Qi Guoguang saw Lin Yi's 2 titles, his face changed and he immediately said, "Go check which copy of the Hall of Fame list he is on. Please recommend and vote for me. I beg all readers to read on. I will continue to work hard." Chapter 43. You call this the difficulty of purgatory? You are listening at novelfull.audio. Yes, the staff at the examination center immediately began to operate the spirit crystal and retrieve data. In fact, retrieval of relevant data is very simple and easy. After all, there are only tens of thousands of professionals who have entered the Global Dungeon Hall of Fame. Looking at the world, excluding foreign names, the possibility of having the same name as someone from Daxia alone is extremely low. Sure enough, search for Lin Yi's name. Soon a copy of the record appeared in front of everyone. Special copy, City of Eternal Light Fiskane, permanently removed. Dungeon level, LV.25. Copy difficulty, A+. Copy occupation restrictions, Mage, Priest. Best clearance record in the dungeon, 0 hours, 2 minutes and 42 seconds. Record holder, Lin Yi. In the conference room, the whole audience was in an uproar. Huh! It's this copy. This dungeon was announced globally more than 10 days ago and will be permanently removed from the list. Is he the last one to pass the level? Hiss, look at his clearance record. Huh! More than 2 minutes. Isn't the requirement to clear this dungeon limited to survival within a limited time? I remember that the requirement is to survive for 3 hours. Yes, I also remember that I personally wrote the strategy for this copy and uploaded it to the strategy center of our province. Qi Guoguang fell into deep thought for a long time. He stared intently at Lin Yi on the big screen. What came to mind was the figure with blue flames burning all over his body in the video uploaded by Tianshui College when he held a meeting for the members of his professional alliance more than 10 days ago. The next moment, Lin Yi's figure suddenly overlapped with the figure in his mind that he temporarily named the Abyss Realm Flame Emperor. Body shape, temperament, they all look alike. But then, Qi Guoguang shook his head. That's ridiculous, not to mention that the spell used by Yuanjie Yanhuang was at least the 8th level. The specificity of that spell alone is not something that Blue Star professionals can possess. That is a high-level spell unique to the Abyss world. It's an alienated version of Blue Star's spell. In addition, that image was extracted from someone else's memory, so there may be deviations in body shape and image, which is normal. In the end, Qi Guoguang convinced himself, he concluded. This kid's adventure is the only one I've ever seen in my life. More than 10 days ago, I received a memory image of this copy uploaded from Tianshui College. In the video, it was this boy who encountered an extremely low probability event when he was clearing this dungeon. That's the hidden boss in the dungeon, which was provoked by another strong man from the Abyss world. That strong man has at least reached the level of the Demon King. In a flash, he instantly killed the hidden boss of the copy with a modified 8th level fire spell. As a result, the entire dungeon completely disappeared and was removed from the list. This kid passed the level in a daze and got the title of Hall of Fame. After listening to Qi Guoguang's explanation, everyone was a little more accepting. Otherwise, if Lin Yi has such terrifying strength, he would still use it to take the college entrance examination. It is estimated that the top professional universities in the country will offer him an olive branch as soon as possible, and at the same time, other Blue Star countries will also set him as the first assassination target as soon as possible. Outside the examination room, Sun Liang looked at the watch on his hand and said, "There are still 10 minutes left before the exam starts. Candidates, please enter the exam room. The exam rules will be announced soon." Lan Ruoi and others who were at the front walked into entrance number 1 first. Lin Yi followed at the end. After entering entrance 1, follow the instructions on the wall and go through several aisles. A familiar copy of the light curtain appeared in front of him. It seems that the test for this college entrance examination was conducted in a special copy provided by the organizer. Saw Lin Yi coming. Previously, all the so-called geniuses in Dongjiang province were silent. Lin Yi could see that the arrogance and clear stupidity on their faces had disappeared, replaced by awe and fear. Attention all candidates. The 2024 National Unified Vocational College Entrance Examination will begin in 5 minutes. The exam discipline and test rules will be announced below. All candidates are requested to strictly abide by this, and violators will be dealt with seriously. There are 5 rounds in this exam. Only those who pass the first 4 rounds and perform well will be eligible to enter the 5th round. All content of this test will be conducted in a special copy. All copies are independent copies. Candidates cannot communicate with other personnel except the invigilator. All candidates are strictly prohibited from bringing any equipment or other creation equipment into the test copy. Violators will be punished as cheating. After entering the dungeon, all candidates' own food, alchemical mixtures, and non-professional buffs will be dispelled. The evaluation system of this exam uses points evaluation. In each round of testing, the system will automatically score the candidates according to their completion of the goals. The higher the difficulty of the test selected by the candidates, the more points they will get after completing the corresponding goals. If an emergency occurs during the testing process, it will be handled in accordance with the relevant regulations of the Unified Admissions Examination Management Measures of Daxia Vocational Higher Education Institutions. The broadcast is finished. The hall fell into silence. 5 minutes passed quickly. Lin Yi heard a bell ringing in the entire examination room. At the same time, near the exit, there were countless whistles from the invigilators and the roar of the gates closing. Once the exam begins, the unlucky ones who are late will not be eligible to enter again. Please all candidates enter the dungeon. Sun Liang ordered. Everyone, including Lin Yi, stepped into the dungeon light curtain and disappeared. After a period of darkness, Lin Yi opened his eyes again. He found himself in a pure white, endless space. This space was extremely quiet, without any sound. There were no so-called monsters or terrain. This should be a dungeon that was transformed by some big guys with special means. However, Lin Yi still saw a countdown and scoreboard floating in the void not far in front of him. There are still 59 seconds before the first round of the exam starts. Current points 0. At the same time, the dungeon notice sounded in Lin Yi's mind. Candidate Lin Yi, in 1 minute, a goblin with level set to LV.30, armor set to 1000, magic resistance set to 1000, and health set to 10,000 will appear in front of you. This goblin will not move or attack. Please kill it as quickly as you can. The shorter the time, the higher the score. After listening to the rules, Lin Yi was stunned at first, then a sense of loss emerged in his heart. If it weren't for my brother, you would call this the purgatory difficulty? That's it? A monster with only 10,000 health, and a big wooden stake, will not run. Who are you looking down on? Chapter 44, Reaching the Top. The Dongjiang geniuses were shocked. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Isn't this a bit difficult? The blood volume is not much, but the defense and magic resistance are set too high. In the examination center, as the examination began, countless people stared at the big screen, and the people displayed on the screen at this moment are all young and famous candidates who are most likely to come out on top in the college entrance examination in the entire Dongjiang province. Lan Ruoi was among them. In addition to her, there were more than 20 candidates from other examination rooms who had also reached level 29 or above and chose the purgatory difficulty level. It can be said that these people have already booked the top 20 in Dongjiang province for this college entrance examination. Other gold label candidates who choose nightmare difficulty may also have a few dark horses. The basic damage of level 1 professional skills is not very high, it's only over 100 at most. And they are not allowed to wear equipment, and their attribute value bonus will not be high. For ordinary professionals, it is very likely that the skill panel can deal 1 or 200 damage, but if it is hit on this goblin, only 10 will be left. What time is it? Someone steps into the perspective of these candidates. In the case of one turn, there is no equipment, no potion effect, and no buff effect. It is difficult to break through the defense. In the end, it might just be scraping. Li Yuanjing chuckled. Otherwise, why do you think this difficulty level was finally rejected by me and no longer used in the formal assessment? Qiguoguang, who was sitting next to him, scanned the big screen carefully, but did not see Lin Yi's shadow. Where's that kid at level 42? Li Yuanjing was reminded by him and realized that there was no copy of Lin Yi on the big screen. At this time, a staff member responsible for broadcasting the copy screen quickly reported, "Report. The broadcast screen of our spirit crystal system is automatically captured according to certain logic. The logical priority at the moment is the occupational rarity of these candidates. 2 leaders, we have asked special personnel to retrieve the screen copy of the candidate named Lin Yi that you are paying attention to. We expect it to be cast on the screen within 2 minutes. Li Yuanjing nodded. Generally speaking, rare professions are definitely better than ordinary professions, so there is nothing wrong with having such a crawling logic. They just need to wait quietly for Lin Yi's copy screen to appear, taking advantage of the few dozen seconds before the first round of testing had begun. Li Yuanjing waved and continued to ask, "Give me a list of people who chose the purgatory difficulty. This time and combined the level and professional rarity." Soon, a list came into his hands. For every name of the top 10 candidates, just by looking at the surname, Li Yuanjing could basically guess which family the genius came from. Isn't the one at the top of the list your little son? You are a rare profession of the archer type. He has awakened a legendary profession. The future is limitless. Qi Guoguang also got such a list. The person at the top of the list is named Li Zirui, who is Li Yuanjing's second son. Zirui is still a bit lazy on weekdays, so let's not mention it, but your granddaughter is not a fuel-efficient lamp either. That the second person on the list is named Qi Xiaoying, who is also a legendary professional. No, Xiaoying has not inherited her father's diligence at all. She is also very lazy at home. That the senior officials of the Dongjiang Provincial Education Department and the Professionals Alliance, who were sitting next to and behind the 2 men, saw the 2 big bosses exchanging business blows, and they all complained in their hearts, "This is so Versailles." Having said that, most people were still looking at the 2 people on the big screen, because everyone knows that the one who is most likely to win the first place in the first round should be one of these 2 people. The 1-minute countdown ends. Soon, on the big screen, a short goblin monster suddenly appeared in front of the boy on the left. The boy reacted very quickly. The moment he raised his right hand, his entire palm was coated with a silver metal shell, and then the palm of his hand deformed into a black muzzle. Boom! The next moment, a rocket shot out of the muzzle and hit the goblin monster, causing a huge explosion in an instant. The goblin's health dropped a lot, and this attack probably caused close to 1,000 points of damage. In the case of 1,000 double resistance, this damage is already very considerable. However, it seems that powerful attacks like rocket launchers require reloading time, so he cannot use them frequently. So the muzzle on the right arm turned into the barrel of the machine gun. The gunfire sounded, and countless bullets were fired at the goblin monster. Beat it till its skin is torn. What a fierce firepower. Is this the gunner-type legendary professional alloy-modified vanguard? I feel like he should be able to kill that goblin with damage in less than 20 seconds. Mr. Qi's granddaughter is also very powerful. Look, she is already surrounded by more than a dozen dazzling patterns. She is probably waiting for a wave of explosions. On the big screen next to Li Zirui, Qi Xiaoying was fighting in a short game, with a heroic appearance, and her fists and kicks kept hitting the goblin monster at an extremely fast speed. Every 10 strikes, a dazzling pattern shining with the light of various elements will appear around her. Her profession is called Fighting Spirit Master. It's obviously a job transfer from the mage system, but the attack methods are basically melee attacks. Each melee attack will add magic damage, and the stored dazzle patterns can also have various elemental effects. Under the girl's deliberate control, the dazzle patterns surrounding her basically flashed orange-red light. After these fire-attributed dazzle patterns are launched, they will add a burning effect to the target, and their own damage is also the highest among all elemental dazzle patterns. Under this kind of assessment condition that requires burst output and killing monsters as soon as possible, it is the best choice. Both of them fight so fast. The blood volume has reached about 70%. It's only been 2 or 3 seconds. The girl from the Lan family seems to be very powerful. Countless people looked at these shining Dongjiang geniuses on the screen and were extremely excited. However, the next moment, the upper right corner of the screen, which was originally vacant and ready to announce the results, suddenly flashed. A name suddenly appeared. The discussion in the entire examination center was gone. full score ranking. Current test round, first round. Ranking, number 1, candidate Lin Yi, passed the first round in 2.36 seconds, and got 1,000 points. Ah! Everyone was stunned. They looked at Li Zirui and Qi Xiaoying, who were madly attacking on the big screen, and they all felt that their CPUs were about to burn out. What's going on? Why did you kill them instantly when others were just half-blooded? Not only the Dongjiang executives who were watching at the examination center were shocked, the countless candidates who were desperately attacking in the first round of the test were also shocked. Boom! Another rocket was fired from the muzzle of Li Zirui's right arm. However, it missed. His mind was confused, his gun was slow, and he even forgot to aim. He was determined to win the first place in the province in the first round. However, he never expected that when he was half-blooded, others had already been killed instantly. Chapter 45. Lin Yi's name will be heard throughout the province from today onwards. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Qi Xiaoying on the other side did not perform much better. Her target has always been Li Zirui. The two not only know each other, but also have a good relationship. To be honest, their relationship is as subtle as that of Lin Yi and Jiang Ye in the 3 years of high school. It's just that the gap between Qi Xiaoying and Li Zirui is much smaller than the gap between the previous two, in this first round of exams. From the perspective of burst output alone, the dozens of dazzling patterns that Qi Xiaoying has been saving can be used to lay the foundation for her victory. She is the one who is determined to win the first place. However, a name called Lin Yi suddenly appeared on the list. She was shocked for a moment. She was even a little scared. Hesitation will lead to defeat. Just a moment of distraction caused 3 or 4 of the 26 dazzling patterns that she had been restraining with her mental power to dissipate. By the time she reacted, it was too late. On the other side, Lan Rui also saw the name on the list in her own exam copy. Lin Yi. Isn't this the level 42 professional who was waiting with him at entrance number 1? He actually passed the first round so quickly. What a terrifying output. As for Zhao Kai, who had looked down on Lin Yi before, he was vomiting blood at this moment, because he had regretted it a little. The difficulty of purgatory was not suitable for him, because the goblin in front of him had just lost a layer of blood. All his skills hit this goblin. It was really too damn painful. The examiner was really perverted. With such high double resistance, who can beat it? There will be no monsters with such high resistance in the dungeon. Compared with Zhao Kai, all the people from Class 8 of Jiangqing No. 1 Middle School who knew Lin Yi were like taking stimulants. Especially Zhang Shan. At this moment, he was standing still under the attack of 4 or 5 goblins, unmoved. The knight profession can take the output route, of course. It can also take the protection route. During the registration phase of this college entrance examination, professionals will be asked to choose their duty orientation, output, protection, and support. Choose one of these 3 orientations and then take the corresponding test. Since it is a national college entrance examination, it naturally covers all professionals. You can't let a priest who has only obtained the healing skill test his speed in killing monsters. So Zhang Shan chose the protection duty. At this moment, he only felt that his whole body was full of strength. He could withstand 5 or 6 more monsters, just because this guy was showing off to the examiners in charge of his area. Hey! The one ranked first now is my brother. Ha ha ha. It's really my brother, I didn't lie to you. I.e., you are awesome, the first in the province. The examination rules really don't stipulate that candidates can't make loud noises in their own examination copies, because after all, the copy space is independent and will not affect other candidates. So this guy's shouting directly made the invigilators speechless. They really wanted to say, yes, 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 I know, then your buddy got first place, but what does that have to do with you? In the dungeon where Lin Yi was, he was a little bored. He sat down on the ground, then he looked at the score sheet above his head. He just got 1,000 points. This score was too rounded. It made him feel like he got full marks. Well, he wasn't sure if it was full marks, but he was sure he was first, because the leaderboard was hanging next to the score sheet. Now, more than 20 seconds have passed since the start of the first round of assessment. Finally, Lin Yi is not the only one on this leaderboard. Gradually, one name after another appeared on the list. Number 1, candidate Lin Yi, passed the first round in 2.36 seconds, and got 1,000 points. Number 2, candidate Qi Xiaoying, passed the first round in 23.27 seconds, and got 877.6 points. No.3, candidate Li Zirui, passed the first round in 24.88 seconds, and obtained points, 861.1. No.4, candidate Su Jiao, passed the first round in 28.79 seconds, and obtained points, 812.1. No.5, candidate Lan Rui, passed the first round in 34.03 seconds, and obtained points, 759.9. The list only shows the top 10, these 10 people who can make the list are the entire Dongjiang province, the real strong ones among more than 100,000 candidates in this national college entrance examination. Such a list, it also appeared in the upper right corner of the big screen in the examination center. Even Li Yuanjing and Qi Guoguang, who were calm, were a little uncalm now. The two looked at each other and saw shock on each other's faces. Li Yuanjing asked, "Why haven't you adjusted his picture after so long?" Hearing the question of the big boss, the staff member who just promised to retrieve Lin Yi's footage in 2 minutes shuddered. He was sweating profusely. To be honest, only a few dozen seconds had passed, less than a minute. I can't do anything even if you rush me. It just takes time. But what can I do? He is a big leader, and I can only swallow my bitterness. Report, report. Immediately. Immediately. I'll urge you again. That the man ran away quickly. Li Yuanjing smiled bitterly when he saw that his youngest son could only finish third on the list. I never expected that Ziri would make such a big mistake in the first round. Qi Guoguang also sighed. Xiaoying is the same, she lost 4 or 5 of her dazzling patterns. It seems that this boy gave them a big shock. Li Yuanjing, nonsense. Didn't you see that he, the first one, and your granddaughter, the second one, just pulled a gap and came out? The difference between 2 seconds and more than 20 seconds is nearly 10 times. Watch the replay later and see how this kid did it. Tianhai City, outside the first examination room, at the beginning of the exam, after all candidates have entered the room, the place is still crowded. There are a large number of locals from Tianhai City who come to every examination room to join in the fun. There were also teachers, parents, and some staff from the education department who came from other base cities throughout Dongjiang province to take the exam. Most of these people will take their students and children home after the college entrance examination. Outside the 22 examination rooms in Tianhai City, there is a huge spiritual crystal display screen, displays the current exam progress and related ranking information in real time. On the display, suddenly a line of large characters jumped out. The first round of this year's exam is over. The first round rankings are announced. The next moment, names appeared on the ranking list one by one. The list outside has a large screen, so it can accommodate the ranking information of the top 100 candidates in the province. After seeing the list, outside the 22 examination rooms in Tianhai City, countless people exclaimed. The whole place was in an uproar. Look, that number 1. It's a name I've never heard of. Lin Yi? Do we have a big family of professionals named Lin in Dongjiang? Yes, there is, but it's not from a big family. Who is this Lin Yi? Has no one seen this incredible clearance record? Fuck, 2 seconds. Yeah, the second one was just over 20 seconds. Chapter 46. It's impossible that he can cast a 4th level spell, right? You are listening at novelfull.audio. It's a bit exaggerated. This year in Dongjiang, a super dark horse emerged from the first round of exams. It's not just a dark horse, this is a Pegasus. Countless people talked about it. From today on, the name Lin Yi has completely entered the eyes of most people in Dongjiang. On the other side, the examination center. Deputy Director Li, is this guy's 1,000 points a perfect score for this round? A subordinate asked a question. Li Yuanjing nodded. If you can kill that goblin monster within 10 seconds, you will get full marks. After 10 seconds, 10 points will be deducted for every second that passes. No more points will be deducted after 500 points are deducted. As long as you can kill the goblins within the 3 minutes of this round's time limit, you will get the 500 points guaranteed to pass the level. This rule was drawn up by me and Lin Yi back then. The Lin Yi mentioned by Li Yuanjing is the top leader of the entire Dongjiang Provincial Education Department. It's just that he is having a meeting in the imperial capital at the moment. Getting full marks on purgatory difficulty, I haven't seen it in years. Qi Guoguang was also a little emotional at this time. Li Yuanjing also had a look of reminiscence in his eyes. It is not difficult for geniuses who come from top bases like Daxia and Shanghai to get full marks in the first round of purgatory difficulty. However, we in Dongjiang have not seen such amazing talents in the past 10 years. This guy is the first of his kind in the past 10 years. The screen in the large conference room suddenly flashed. At this moment, the replay of Lin Yi's performance in the first round will finally be played. Everyone was curious as to how Lin Yi passed the first round of testing in just 2 seconds. Playback starts. The entire playback video was about the same time as Lin Yi's clearance, only about 4 or 5 seconds, but after watching the video, everyone in the conference room was stunned. Play it again. Li Yuanjing also felt a little incredible, immediately asked the people under you to play it again. After the second playback started, Li Yuanjing added another sentence, slow playback. Under the slow playback effect, this time everyone finally saw clearly what Lin Yi had done. In fact, it's nothing. The moment the goblin monster just appeared, 5 or 6 huge fireballs the size of a wash basin appeared in front of Lin Yi. These fireballs were like a barrage of fireballs, bombarding the goblin monsters in a straight line with extremely high frequency. The goblin monster's blood volume dropped crazily at an extremely terrifying speed. After just over 2 seconds, the blood volume was cleared. When the goblins disappeared, there were even 7 or 8 pyrotechnics in flight, bombarding them into the distance. Is this the Flame Mage's second-level skill Pyroblast? Li Yuanjing suddenly realized, the first time because the speed was too fast, he even thought that Lin Yi used some kind of fire spell that he didn't understand. Why is it like a fire dragon? Only now did he realize that it was not a fire dragon, it was just the effect of countless pyroblasts being rubbed out by him in an instant and then bombarded continuously. Qi Guoguang nodded, it's pyroblast. This kid has already completed his second level. It's not surprising that he has mastered a second-level skill. Li Yuanjing took over the conversation. The really strange thing is, how could he release the pyroblast technique so many times with such terrifying efficiency, right? Qi Guoguang nodded solemnly. As a superior spell of Fireball, Pyroblast not only does more damage, but also has an effect that Fireball doesn't have. That is, when dealing damage, it ignores 40% of the target's magic resistance. With the goblin monster's high magic resistance, even if he were to deal with it, he would give up the higher-level triple flame spear and choose to use Pyroblast. It can definitely kill monsters faster. Does he have any skills for singing quickly? Qi Guoguang shook his head. It is absolutely impossible for the mage's passive skill high-speed chanting to have such an exaggerated effect after it reaches level 2. If you want to use nearly 20 pyrotechnics in 2 seconds, there is only one possibility. This kid's pyroblast technique is instantaneous. Moreover, his mana is also very strong, enough to support him to release so many pyrotechnics in such a short period of time. Li Yuanjing also understood what Qi Guoguang meant. When he awakened his profession, he should have awakened a certain talent, right? Qi Guoguang affirmed, yes, and this talent should allow him to cast spells instantly, and even increase the cost of skills. That's not surprising. No wonder he was able to reach this level in just 30 days. To everyone present, the impact of the instantaneous level 2 pyroblast technique on them was limited to Lin Yi's age and extremely low professional experience. At the age of 18, I had just started my career for a month. This fighting power is very abnormal, but that's all. Soon, the playback video ended. On the big screen, those candidates who were included in the list and focused on were replayed. However, this time Lin Yi's picture was placed directly in the center. Li Zirui and Qi Xiaoying, the 2 previous favorites for the championship, could only move to the sides and give up the C position to Lin Yi. The second round of testing, I remember, was a quick kill of multiple targets, right? Yes. The first round tests the ability of output-type professionals to quickly kill a single target. that is, the burst ability. The second round tests the burst ability against multiple targets. To be honest, the second level is much more difficult than the first level, because most professionals only have one small single skill in the first turn, and almost no ability to fight against a group. Even if they have, they basically attack the main target, and then some splash damage will be generated around the main target. In the second round, there will be a total of 20 goblins that will not move or attack, with double resistance of about 300 and only 1000 HP. For some legendary professions, if they have real AoE skills and means at this time of the first turn, then they will definitely have the upper hand in this round of testing. In fact, Li Yuanjing has been eavesdropping on the discussions of the people behind him. A barely noticeable smile appeared at the corner of his mouth. His son Li Zirui's profession has nothing else but too many skills for large-scale firepower coverage. The rocket he used before was actually an AoE explosion damage. He might win this round. As for Lin Yi, although Li Yuanjing is optimistic about him, according to his understanding, mage, fire mage, even if it is a third-level skill, triple flame lance, it is just a little bigger in range. 3 flame lances can hit 3 goblins at most, and the real AoE skill is the 4th-level flame storm. This kid can't have such a high-level skill at this level, right? Qi Guoguang, who was sitting next to Li Yuanjing, of course also noticed the thoughts of this old friend. It's not only your Zhe Rui who has AoE skills, my granddaughter also has it. Let's wait and see. In this second round of tests, I must take the first place and win back a city. Chapter 47, Another Instant Win. Shocked the examiner for a whole year. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The two thought so. The countdown to the start of the second round on the big screen was less than 10 seconds. Most of the candidates were preparing for the second round in advance. On the big screen, Li Zirui stood in place, but his eyes were bright and focused, and all kinds of weapon systems had been charged. He only waited for the monster to refresh, and he would instantly pour out his firepower. On the other side, Qi Xiaoying was no less capable. At this moment, she had already activated a field skill in advance. The 4-meter range around her was all red. As soon as the monster appeared, it would be instantly burned by this field, and it would be killed more quickly. It seems that the girl from the Lan family may also reach the top in this round. Suddenly someone noticed the corner of the big screen, the live broadcast screen of Lan Rui. In the screen, Lan Rui, who had a cold temperament, kept chanting magic spells. Then, rock balls with purple light flashing in the sky gradually took shape and floated up. Why are there so many rock balls suspended in the air? She is a rare job transfer of the mage system, the gravity mage. Is this the second-level skill of the gravity system? She hasn't even reached the second job transfer yet, but she has already mastered this spell. This skill is too advantageous. When the monsters are refreshed, she will directly control these 7 or 8 rock balls to smash down. The AoE damage that bursts out instantly will definitely be terrifying. Li Yuanjing and Qi Guoguang also noticed this. They all felt a shudder in their hearts. Don't tell me, with so many rock balls smashing down, they don't believe it's not area damage. Who will get the first place in this round? It suddenly became confusing, just when all the Dongjiang geniuses showed their magical powers. Lin Yi, who was on the main screen, stood out as someone who didn't take the usual path. On the screen, Lin Yi was already sitting on the smooth ground, drawing circles with his fingers out of boredom. Lin Yi was really bored. I had thought that the National College entrance examination, or the purgatory difficulty, should make me serious. Who knew it was just like a child playing house, 20 goblins with 1000 HP. Are you kidding me? Isn't this all killed by a firestorm? Is it difficult? So, he was too lazy to stand. He just sat on the ground. In the examination center, countless bigwigs saw Lin Yi like this and instantly didn't know whether to laugh or cry. This kid, why do I feel that he doesn't care much about this National College entrance examination? Li Yuanjing looked at Lin Yi in the middle of the big screen and couldn't help complaining. Qi Guoguang also nodded. He doesn't have AoE means, and knows that he will definitely not perform well in this round, so he is a little self-destructive. As soon as Qi Guoguang put forward this hypothesis, it was instantly recognized by many people. Although Lin Yi is at a high level. Although Lin Yi can instantly cast Pyroblast, but in this situation where he needs to quickly kill multiple targets in A large range, he should be a little stretched. Pyroblast requires aiming. Although the refreshed goblins will not move, but the position distribution is random, you can use Pyroblast instantly. At the beginning, you may not need to aim and can hit the target, but later, if you want to hit the target, you must aim. It is impossible to kill so many goblins in 2 or 3 seconds. After all, this guy is just an ordinary profession, he can't even compare with rare professions. It is even more impossible to surpass legendary professions. On the big screen, the countdown is reset to 0, the next moment. In all dungeons, 20 goblins were refreshed in the blink of an eye. Li Yi, who had been ready for battle, opened fire directly. The roar was endless, the dungeon was filled with smoke, and it was like a battlefield in Lia. On the other side, Qi Xiaoying's domain also completely included all goblin monsters. The passive skill of the battle spirit fighter profession was also crazy at this moment. As long as a certain number of damage is caused to a monster, a dazzling pattern will be generated. The burning of the field, plus her own small-scale AoE sweeping attack, the output of the dazzling pattern is almost 10 times that of the previous one. Under the explosion of countless dazzling patterns and the burning of the field, her efficiency in clearing monsters is not inferior to Li Yi at all. The other side, Lan Rui is more direct. A full 10 rock balls fell down with a bang. She can already think of the scene in the next moment when her name appears on the leaderboard. However, at this moment, on the big screen of the examination center, an extremely blazing orange-red light suddenly appeared. The light came from the screen in the middle. I saw countless burning air waves carrying bright embers, falling from the sky, smashing hard on the 20 goblin monsters. The next moment, the ground was burned to a dark red color, and the 20 goblins disappeared directly as if they melted. This time, Qi Guoguang couldn't sit still. He opened his eyes wide in an instant. The leaderboard jumped again. Current test round, second round, rank, number 1, candidate Lin Yi, passed the second round in 0.1 seconds, earned points, 1000. All the Dongjiang high-level officials were stunned. Fuck. Nima. Some even yelled directly in front of the leader. His usually modest and civilized image suddenly collapsed. Seconds. See you again in seconds. And this time because Lin Yi happened to occupy the C position, they see it more clearly than anyone else. Almost those 20 goblins just refreshed. The storm formed by countless blazing fires and high-temperature air currents crashed down instantly. Lin Yi was still sitting on the ground. He didn't even glance at the 20 goblins. Everything seems to be taken for granted. In the blink of an eye, destruction comes. In the examination room, countless candidates were dazzled. I saw a name pop up again on the blank ranking list, still familiar 2 words, Lin Yi. What followed was an unfamiliar and even more unbelievable result, 0.1 seconds. Damn it. It's him again. The battle for the top spot in the second round completely lost its suspense the moment the assessment began. How the hell is this done? Which big shot is this reincarnation successful? Damn it, 0.1 seconds. This god of forest, please use your magical powers. Every time you get results that look like cheating, it will make my heart unbearable. Countless candidates felt a little broken in their hearts. Now they even plan to protest to the Invigilator. Please don't show this ranking list in the dungeons of novices like us, okay? The mentality will explode. In the examination center, Li Yuanjing stared at Lin Yi's ranking in the upper right corner of the big screen, and the results that followed. The heartbeat is very fast. He suddenly thought of something. More than 600 years have passed since the National College entrance examination began in Daxia. In the past 600 years, has any candidate been able to achieve such a result in the second round of purgatory difficulty? If there is not, did he witness history in his lifetime? Chapter 48 Breaking the Record. He is creating the history of Daxia. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Li Yuanjing took a deep breath. He wanted to check it out. He waved his hand. Soon a subordinate came over. Li Yuanjing leaned close to his ear and said, "Go check what is the best record of the second round of the purgatory difficulty in the more than 600 National College entrance examination records of our Daxia." The subordinate nodded excitedly when he heard it. Okay. I'll go now. Obviously, he also realized that the record created by Lin Yi might have broken the historical extreme value. 0.1 seconds, too exaggerated. However, Li Yuanjing stopped him and continued, then let the invigilation team thoroughly check whether there are any technical problems in Lin Yi's copy, and whether such a record appeared because of a bug. By the way, check his status bar, equipment bar, etc. to make sure he didn't cheat. The subordinate nodded repeatedly when he heard it. If these two are confirmed, then it can be proved that the score obtained by this candidate is legitimate and there is no cheating. After the explanation, the subordinate hurried to check, and these short 10 seconds passed. The ranking list on the upper right corner of the big screen changed again. In addition to Lin Yi, many new people appeared on the list. Current test round, second round, current round points ranking. Number 1, candidate Lin Yi, passed the first round in 0.1 seconds, and got points, 1000. Number 2, candidate Lan Rui, passed the second round in 9.42 seconds, and got points, 939.3. Number 3, candidate Qi Xiaoying, passed the second round in 12.88 seconds, and got points, 816.1. Number 4, candidate Li Zirui, passed the second round in 13.03 seconds, and got points, 805.4. Number 5, candidate Ding Chuqing, passed the second round in 13.67 seconds, and got points, 799.9. The points that can be obtained in the second round are the same as the first round, both of which are full marks of 1000 points. However, this time, it is obvious that many new faces appeared on the list. Single burst and group burst are two different advantage intervals. Professionals like Qi Xiaoying and Li Zirui who can take care of both are rare, so the list was directly changed, and it is worth mentioning that Lan Rui's tactics were very successful and she emerged as a new force. The gravity mage can store spells such as rock balls, which gave her a great advantage in this round, instantly surpassed Li Zirui and Qi Xiaoying. But these geniuses with dazzling halos were instantly eclipsed in front of Lin Yi, the big devil. How dare the firefly compete with the bright moon? Soon, Li Yuanjing got a reply to the things he asked his subordinates to do. Deputy Director Li. I just asked all the staff of our technical department to recheck the status gain, items and equipment of the candidate Lin Yi, and all the items that may be cheated. There are no abnormalities. And there are no abnormalities in the copy status and data. He got this score honestly. The subordinate in charge of reporting was obviously very excited. His voice couldn't help but get a little louder. Everyone in the examination center who was closer to Li Yuanjing heard it. Instantly, their expressions were also amazed. It's incredible. We originally thought that the first place in our province this year should be between Li Zirui and Qi Xiaoying, but who knew that Lin Yi would come out halfway? He still got full marks in this round. That the examination center should have remained serious and silent, and the two big guys, Li Yuanjing and Qi Guoguang, did not talk out loud. Others should not speak easily, but at this moment, it doesn't matter, because Li Yuanjing is in a good mood. The news reported by his subordinates immediately made him smile even more. Deputy Director Li, we have just checked the relevant records in the Daxia archives. In the National College entrance examination held in 2876, a candidate from Shanghai scored a good score of 0.48 seconds in the second round of the purgatory difficulty. This record has not been broken in the past 100 years. Today, it was broken. And it is worth mentioning that the candidate who created this record before was named Zheng Yingxiong. Hearing this name, everyone in the conference room gasped. Li Yuanjing said in surprise, "It is the 21st god of war of our Daxia, that Zheng Yingxiong." The subordinate nodded. Li Yuanjing couldn't sit still. He felt that he was a little too excited. Try to calm his excitement. He stared at the big screen with burning eyes, and said slowly, "We still don't know how he will perform in the next few rounds, and whether he will be overtaken by the people behind. But at least at this moment, he has created the history of our Daxia. His record is unprecedented." Li Yuanjing is so ambitious at this moment. Although Lin Yi has no relationship with him, but the cultivation of the younger generation can also be developed slowly. The most important thing is that this is a candidate from their Dongjiang. If he goes to the imperial capital to report on his work and attend meetings later, he will also be proud. To be honest, I think his full score is a bit unfair to him. This sentence was said by Qi Guoguang. Li Yuanjing raised his eyebrows and looked at Qi Guoguang, who was sitting on the right side of the seat. Then he was also startled, because the expression on the latter's face at this moment was 7 parts surprise, 2 parts appreciation, and the last part jealousy. That's right. He actually saw a subtle expression of jealousy and envy on the face of this 7th-turn holy magician who was 1 level higher than himself. Why did Mr. Qi sigh like this? Li Yuanjing asked. Qi Guoguang raised his finger and pointed at the points list in the upper right corner. Didn't you notice that even with a perfect score, his points are not far behind the 2nd place? Li Yuanjing glanced at the list. I instantly understood what Qi Guoguang meant. Lin Yi's score had already reached 0 before the decimal point. As for the 2nd place, it almost went straight to 2 digits before the decimal point. How many times the difference is this? Nearly 1,000 times the difference. And what about the score difference? Just over 60 points. No wonder Qi Guoguang said that this scoring system was unfair to Lin Yi. Li Yuanjing smiled bitterly. It's a bit unfair, but these rules are unified across the country. Although I participated in the writing of the scoring amendment, who among us could have imagined that one day there would be such exaggerated results as this kid's? Qi Guoguang smiled and said, it doesn't matter, the strong will always be strong. I believe that based on what he has shown so far, he should be the #1 player in Dongjiang province this year. Qi Guoguang made a direct judgment. This made Li Yuanjing look at him with admiration. No, bro. The whole province knows that you dote on your precious granddaughter. In addition, Qi Guoguang is famous for protecting his shortcomings. It was a bit difficult for him to admit that another stranger had surpassed his granddaughter and was aiming to be #1 in the province. But Qi Guoguang's next words directly caused everyone in the conference room to think deeply. Please give me monthly votes and recommended votes. There is also a follow-up reading. Thank you, readers. This chapter is the first chapter where the protagonist becomes famous. I wanted to write it in as much detail as possible, but I read in the book review section that some brothers said it was a bit watered down. I am famous for taking advice, so I will speed up the pace and write faster in the next 2 rounds. Chapter 49 Fire and Wind Dual Cultivation. The 3rd round of endurance test. You are listening at novelfull.audio. How do you think he achieved this unprecedented time of 0.1 seconds? The spell he used just now is a 4th level fire spell, Flame Storm. The normal required chanting time is 5 seconds. And he is still instant. Qi Guoguang's words instantly caused an uproar in the whole audience. A word that wakes up the dreamer. Yes. How could they forget this most crucial point? The spell just now even made the entire big screen turn red. It's obviously quite popular. He is a level 42 mage who has just made his 2nd turn, instantaneous 4th level spell. At this moment, everyone realized how outrageous Lin Yi was. The talent he awakened should be very strong, allowing him to use 4th level spells at this level and in this job change situation. Li Yuanjing made a decision. For a time, countless bosses in the entire examination center looked at Lin Yi in a different light. That's right, this guy is just an ordinary mage. But the overall strength of a professional cannot only be judged by the strength of his profession, talents, skills and even equipment matching must also be considered comprehensively. But the next moment, when they saw Lin Yi's performance in the center of the big screen again, the corners of their mouths twitched a few times. I saw Lin Yi sitting on the ground. At some point, a big chicken leg appeared in his left hand, and he was holding a bottle of ice-cold happy water in his right hand. Had a great time eating. Lin Yi's operation silenced the entire conference room. No, although your performance was perfect, but don't you take us lightly. The examiner who had been monitoring Lin Yi's copy opened his mouth. He wanted to turn on the speaker and issue a warning to Lin Yi. Candidates are asked not to be too presumptuous during the test. But then I thought about it, he seemed a little unworthy. This man is the ultimate ruthless person who directly scored full marks in the first 2 rounds. Maybe after today's exam, it will soar into the sky. In addition, there is no provision in the examination regulations that eating is not allowed during the examination. Of course, the premise is that these foods do not provide buffs. After finishing a big chicken leg, Lin Yi picked up the Coke and drank a few more gulps. Cool. Wiped his mouth, then there were a few more bags of potato chips beside him. The spicy konjac was delicious. Even though the system in the dungeon had already prompted that the second round of testing was over and the third round would begin in 1 minute, Lin Yi didn't look nervous at all. This kid. Something's wrong. A group of Dongjiang bosses in the examination center, they all have twitching faces, they have really never seen such a candidate, and they really don't pay attention to the National College entrance examination at all. But he is terrifyingly strong. Li Yuanjing suddenly smiled mysteriously, and then said, "You have character, I like it." And although he looks lazy, he actually takes exams very seriously. In the last round, as soon as those 20 goblins appeared, he reacted instantly and used 4th level magic to kill them. If you don't prepare in advance and stay focused, you won't be able to do this. As a leader, you have to look at things more carefully than the average person. Only when Li Yuanjing mentioned it did everyone realize it. Lin Yi only looked relaxed on the surface, but in fact he was taking this exam seriously, and his evaluation of Lin Yi was immediately higher. This can only show that this young man is much more mature mentally than his peers, as the second round comes to an end. The rankings have also changed. The points from the 2 rounds are added up to arrive at the current ranking. The entire top 100 rankings have undergone earth-shaking changes. Lots of ranking changes. There are also a lot of new names on the list. However, Lin Yi, who was at the top of the list, remained unmoved. Outside the examination room, as the second round ends, the rankings are released again. Everyone was shocked again. Cumulative points ranking. Current round, second round, ended. First place, Lin Yi, occupation, mage, place of examination, Jiangcheng, points, 2000. Why is it him again? This Lin Yi is so awesome. After 2 rounds, he still got a perfect score. I'm from Jiangcheng. Our place is too poor and remote. I didn't expect that such a super dark horse would come out. 6666. I just like to see this kind of script where the dark horse crushes all the well-known talents. To be honest, I guess those so-called Dongjiang geniuses must be sweating now. Happy, if you like watching, come more. I am also from Jiangcheng. My wife and children are all in my hometown. I came to Tianhai to work. Come on, fellow. Lin Yi, come on for me. Come on. It's best to be first in the next round and win first place in the province. Those who watched the excitement did not think it was a big deal, especially to most people. Lin Yi is like himself in another world, ordinary background, an ordinary career, but relying on hard power, he trampled all the dazzling new stars in Dongjiang under his feet. So cool. Ever since, Lin Yi, a candidate without any family or power support, at this moment, he received the support of the widest audience. Return to the copy. 1 minute passed quickly. Soon the countdown to the third round began. The rules of the third round were also announced to all candidates in due time. Attention all candidates. The third round of tests is about to begin. This round of tests will test your long-term output endurance. After 10 seconds, a goblin giant will be refreshed in front of you. The attributes of this monster are set as, unlimited HP, armor value and magic resistance are both 0. This round of exams is limited to 30 minutes. Please cause as much damage to the monster as possible within the time limit. The points for this round will be distributed according to the total damage caused to the target after the time is up. Please note that during the 30-minute test, 5 agile goblin monsters will be refreshed around the goblin giant every 30 seconds. The monster's dual resistance is also 0, and its health is set to 3000. After refreshing, the agile goblin will escape at a very fast speed. If it is not killed before it successfully escapes, 10,000 points of the current total output value will be deducted. Lin Yi was also quietly listening to the rules of the third round. I have to say that the third round seems to be interesting. The first 2 rounds tested the burst ability against single and group, and this round tests the comprehensive output endurance. Lin Yi analyzed in his mind, since the blood volume of the goblin giant is unlimited, then within the limited time, if you want to cause higher damage, you need to consider the endurance problem. Take the fire mage as an example. This is a typical burst specialization. It is very fierce in the early stage of the battle, the damage may instantly pull away from other specializations. However, the mana consumption of fire spells is higher than that of other systems. After a wave of bursts, the mana is consumed too quickly and soon withers, so how to allocate the output rhythm in these 30 minutes is the ultimate test faced by all candidates. But for Lin Yi, this problem has been solved. The 10-second countdown ends, the goblin giant refreshes, and in the copy where Lin Yi is, a strong wind blows. Qi Guoguang, who has been watching all this, suddenly stands up. He looks at Lin Yi in disbelief. He feels the extremely strong wind element, which is gathering towards Lin Yi. Chapter 50 Despair. Millions of incredible output. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Come and hit me, idiot. That the goblin giant was extremely large, at least 7 or 8 meters tall, even taller than Lin Yi's molten flame demon. The moment it appeared, it opened its mouth and began to taunt. By the way, it also made a friendly gesture with its right hand that was used throughout the entire blue star and the entire earth. Coupled with that expression, it really deserved a beating. Lin Yi wanted to complain about which smart guy designed this copy. In fact, Lin Yi was wrong. All the monsters in this copy were taken from a copy in reality, and the goblin giant in reality deserved a beating. Whoosh whoosh whoosh, the wind whistled around Lin Yi. The next moment, a green tornado was generated above the goblin giant's head. The strong wind formed sharp spikes like needles, constantly attacking the goblin giant's flesh. Wind level 4th level spell, Storm Cyclone. Lin Yi chose this spell because it is the spell with the highest total damage that can be caused by a single release in a long-term battle. Storm Cyclone, type, active skill, level 4, section, storm system, consumption, 4000 mana, chanting time, 3.5 seconds, cooling time, none, effect, guide the wind element to form a huge tornado, attack all targets within the affected range, and cause 5 wind attribute damage to all targets per second. After attacking the target, the storm cyclone will no longer move, and will continue to rotate, causing damage continuously, with a maximum duration of 30 minutes. Note, strong wind. Listen to my command. All 4th level spells of the elemental system, they are all range spells. This is the characteristic of the mage profession. The wind system is no exception. It's just that the damage of this spell inherits the consistent tradition of the wind system. 125. 136. 207, critical hit. The damage number is only 1 or 200. It is completely incomparable to the fire system's damage value of tens of thousands. Scraping. But it scrapes very quickly. And it lasts very long. Once a storm cyclone is summoned, it will last for a full half an hour before dissipating. For a clumsy monster like the goblin giant who can only stand there and sneer, he can take all the damage for 30 minutes. Using this mechanism, Lin Yi continued to summon storm cyclones. 5, 10, 20. The number of storm cyclones covering the goblin giant is rising at an extremely terrifying speed. Dozens of storm cyclones bombarded the goblin giant together. The frequency of damage caused per second is terrifyingly high. 20 storm cyclones can achieve 100 attacks per second. Such a high frequency of attack, the goblin giant, who was just madly sneering, was trembling in the mouth, and his throat was like a cassette, unable to make any sound. Its huge body was also shaking wildly, looking funny and hilarious. This scene stunned countless people in the examination center. Qi Guoguang even stood up, looking at Lin Yi on the screen. His brain was working wildly. He still couldn't forget everything he saw when he rushed to help Kangwon City more than 10 days ago. Is it him? It's him. Right. No. Right, no. Qi Guoguang's mind was constantly affirming and denying, the same fire and wind dual cultivation, the same young mage, but a person with extremely terrifying magic control, and can release the 7th level fire and 7th level wind magic at the same time. This kid in front of him is only level 42 and has just turned 2, even if there is a mysterious talent blessing. Can he do this? The probability is too small. However, as a mage, his intuition has been reminding Qi Guoguang, all of this is related. Even the matter of Fei Lai Kain in the city of passing light is related to this young man. But reason rejected all his guesses. Mr. Qi, what's wrong with you? Although Li Yuanjing was also amazed that Lin Yi could actually use wind spells, but he was an archer after all, he didn't know much about the spells of mages. Qi Guoguang's thoughts were interrupted by Li Yuanjing, and finally, he could only shake his head. Nothing. I just have some unrealistic guesses. Li Yuanjing wanted to ask something else, but after the third round started, the list in the upper right corner of the big screen was refreshed after a short delay. Current round, third round, real-time list. Number 1, candidate Lin Yi, cumulative output, 53,696. Number 2, candidate Qi Xiaoying, cumulative output, 11,833. Number 3, candidate Li Zirui, cumulative output, 10,236. Number 4, candidate Ding Chuqing, cumulative output, 9,691. N0.5, candidate Fang Ming, cumulative output, 9,527. Because this round is about output value, the list is updated in real time. What remains unchanged is that Lin Yi is still far ahead, the gap with the second place is nearly 5 times. And if anyone looks carefully, they will find that the gap is gradually widening, because as the number of storm cyclones increases, Lin Yi's DPS, damage per second, is also rising. The next second after seeing the list, countless people exclaimed again. It's him again. He's still number 1. Such high damage, what spell did he use? This kid is actually a dual cultivation mage. Too amazing, how did he get so many skill points? But why doesn't he use fire spells? Doesn't the fire spell have higher damage? The fire spell consumes more mana, so this kind of test of endurance must give priority to cost-effectiveness. In the exam copy, more than 10 minutes have passed since the start of the third round. Li Zirui wanted to vomit blood. In the second round of group burst output, he lost to Qi Xiaoying, and he accepted it, but in this round of endurance test, he was determined to win. Because the legendary profession of alloy super cyborg has unlimited ammunition. It just takes time to reload. As long as he controls the rhythm, in these 30 minutes, he can guarantee that he can output anytime and anywhere, absolutely non-stop. Other professionals will definitely experience fatigue and interrupted output in the second half of this round of testing, and will be unable to continue. With the score of this round, he is confident that he can rush to the top of the list, and he knows that Lin Yi, who ranked first in the first 2 rounds, has a strong burst. So at the beginning, when he saw Lin Yi at the top of the list, even if the gap was 5 times, he was not too anxious, because in his opinion, Lin Yi only started to be fierce at this time. He must have withered in the future. Who knows? At this moment on the list, he is in second place. He caused an output of more than 100,000. He pulled the output of Qi Xiaoying, who was in third place, close to 20,000. And what about the first place? Now the output has exceeded 1 million. It's too damn amazing. Even if Lin Yi stops output now, Li Zirui also believes that it is impossible to catch up with his output, but the next second when he fell into despair, he suddenly saw the list floating in the air. The total output number of Lin Yi, who ranked first, suddenly flashed, and then the damage amount from millions of levels was directly reduced to 0. Happy May Day holiday. I wish all friends who read this book great wealth and happiness.